Well, hello. I see we are live. Hello. And I see I have some folks with me. Some are there, visible. Hi, Jamie. And a few are just not ready to come on live with me. And that's okay. How are you doing? Gosh, we are in the vernal equinox. Happy spring for my friends in the Northern Hemisphere. How are you feeling? What are you noticing? It's actually the astrological new year as well. I'm telling you, when I first heard that, there was something in me that just felt like I knew that. Remember, we are of nature, and the more we live closer to nature, the more we're in the natural rhythms of nature, which is what astrology is for me, getting connected to the celestial weather, to the rhythms of nature, and finding my way back to my essence. And that is what this channel is all about, an invitation for you to reclaim your beautiful soul essence, to nurture possibilities and potential, and ultimately to emerge your unique and beautiful soul mission. Okay, so I have some things to share about this collective, well, in the Northern Hemisphere anyway, collective new year, new beginning, new, it's like it's emerging. We're going to be talking about what qualities of spring most call to your soul in just a little bit. But first, I'm starting these lives with meditation. Why? Well, it's the end of my day. And for me, I like to do meditation at the beginning and at the end, especially when I'm clocking out for my regular day. This is a personal thing that I do, just kind of to let that go, to let the day go, and then to reconnect with what I need. But I'm doing it during these lives, topic related, but also to give you an opportunity to just pause, connect to your inner world, check in on yourself. Our focus is so external. What's everybody else doing? Especially those who are drawn to my channel, who are usually caretakers, healers, therapists, teachers, and all this energy is going outward. We need to just bring some inward. So we're going to do that. So I invite you to, if you're watching this replay, you can pause the video, get yourself prepared, get yourself your meditation cushion or whatever you need, and maybe light a candle and take this time for you. And Jamie, I hope you're not driving, that you can participate in this tonight. And here we go. So I invite you just to close your eyes to symbolize turning away from the external world to turn into your inner world. And just first notice as I ring the meditation bowl, notice what arises, how you feel about the invitation to turn within. And the easiest way in is to follow the breath. Notice how you're breathing. And for some of us who have moved through a stressful day, you may notice your shallow breathing, which means your chest breathing, which means you're not breathing all the way into your belly, which means you may be in a fight or flight response. Okay, you're dysregulated. And I want to say this again, I've been working with or calling in a lot of clients and viewers and getting emails from those who resonated with my trauma video. I'm not a trauma expert. I'm a trauma survivor and have had lived experience. And I do have training to work with trauma, but it's on the radar for a lot of us. And so for me, one of the things I recognized as unusual being a trauma survivor is holding my breath. And I can still catch myself when things are getting intense in the world. I'm kind of holding my breath, bracing. So notice that too. And give yourself permission just to breathe in deeply all the way into your belly, what you need in this moment. And exhaling it down through your body, down to the earth, letting go of the day, composting, sloughing off what you'd like to release in this moment. And just breathing into this fresh moment. Let's step in together to this feeling of the vernal equinox, the day where we have a balance of light and dark, the first day of spring in the northern hemisphere, a time of emerging, time of growth, new beginnings. So just breathe into your body and be present and be curious. What is wanting to spring forward through you? Just breathing in and honor where you are and how you're feeling, no matter what, even though I'm talking about springtime. Doesn't mean you automatically go into springtime. For some people, it may be an elongated winter, a winter of the soul, where you're still in your, in the darkness of growing potential, but yet to know what is going to emerge, in that place. The winter of the soul is an inner journey of reflection. And so just because there's a day on the calendar when the sun moves into Aries, when the weather shifts and nature seems to come alive, honor wherever you are. It's okay. It's okay. But perhaps you can feel some stirring, some awakening. And just breathe in and be curious. What is my soul wanting to birth through me during this season or during the summer or whenever? What is wanting to blossom through me, through you? I speak in first tense, but I'm wrapping the words that come through me around all of us, for you. What is longing to be nurtured within you to grow and blossom? How's your energy? Noticing? Yeah, sometimes we move into this season, we may feel a little bit more energy. It's the yang time, the energy of emerging and more activity. Just think about where you live, what you've been noticing in nature. Are you noticing the blossoming trees and more bird activity? Just a feeling of aliveness. And see if you can find that in you. What feels alive in you? And now I'd like you to just focus on spring and what it might mean to you. And for those of you who do view this in another hemisphere, just imagine, the southern hemisphere, you're having your autumn equinox, right? So going into fall. So work with that for you. Align with the nature that is around you to find your way to your own cycle of nature. So for all of you, I invite you to allow an image to form. Just be curious. I want an image to form that connects me to this time, the cycle of nature. What image do you associate, for those of you in the northern hemisphere, with springtime? First image you see, trust that. Just trust it. Images are, symbols, and imagery is like the language of the soul. And they're rich with lots of information. So trust whatever comes. And if you didn't get an image, focus on a word. What word most resonates with you for the season that is emerging right now where you live? Just notice that too. And no matter what season, no matter what day of the year it is, we can always claim a new beginning whenever we need one. So breathe into possibilities, breathe into what you need to feel at peace, centered and grounded wherever you are, and just kind of put your hands on your thighs and just rub back and forth, making connection to your body, hand over heart, making connection to your compassion and your soul, and your own soul awareness. Okay, whenever you're ready, come on back and we'll talk about vernal equinox. Yay, I'm glad you're not driving, Jamie. Good. You get to be present to yourself and to this day with me, to the end of this day with me. So yes, it's been incredibly beautiful where I live. Like, just spring has sprung. It's, my husband and I were going for a walk last night and it was so alive. There were birds, there were blossoms, there were kids playing, and we just both remarked on feeling that waking up energy. So it is, I used to think, I never understood why I never felt ready for the new year. In January, the Gregorian calendar new year, it's just like, I felt like, why is everybody so ready and motivated? And I'm not. But I found my natural rhythm was more around end of March, beginning of April, which is Aries season, which is the astrological new year, which means the start of the astrological new year. And Aries is like the I am energy. It is the new birth. It's the new beginning. It's the emerging, right? So what words, whether if you're watching this on a replay, and I invite you to comment, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. I'm kind of holding steady at a number of viewers. While I'm very grateful for every single one of my viewers, I'm at 1,050. It has been like not moving, and that's okay. Maybe it'll emerge. Maybe more people will be drawn here for the springtime, and maybe it's because when I was talking about in the meditation, I still kind of feel very wintry. I'm going through a lot of introspection right now, a lot of reflections on my life, a lot of still kind of mulling around, right? So I have yet to completely emerge. I'm just feeling the stirrings myself. So I'm wondering, though, if on the replay, or Jamie, you can share, and anybody else, I see a few people here, if you want to add it in the chat box, what image emerged, or what word, what quality do you most associate with this time of the year in nature? Yes, so you're saying yes, March and April are your new beginning, your new year. Also, awesome. What image did you get? An image, Jamie, or do you have a word that you just love? It's like, sometimes with the new year we choose a word for the year. I say choose a word for the season. What's the word, when you think about springtime or fall for my friends in the southern hemisphere? What's that anchor word, or the word that just, oh, that's it. That's my word. And for me, yeah, new beginnings. Oh, don't you love the new baby leaves, and just knowing that, new life is being birthed to. And I was so disappointed this year. I didn't get, a client once gifted me with such a beautiful gift for the hummingbirds, or for birds, but the hummingbirds came. It was like this puffy white cotton ball that I hung up in a tree, and Mama Hummingbird would come and take some of the materials to go build her nest. And I had it for 2 years, and I meant to get one this year. And what I tried this year, because I have so much hair, I literally put some hair from my hairbrush up in the tree thinking, well, maybe they can use this as a nest, but my hair's too long. It didn't work. But anyway, it's that time of the season where we see new life, and it's fertile energy, right? So images or words that anchor you. I do love, I had a post up here that I took it down and just put a picture up. But if you go to my Instagram, which I am in the process of rebranding, re-emerging there. But I posted something for the spring equinox today with some words to just inspire you to consider how to activate those words within you. So growth, new beginnings, emerging. It's just fresh energy, right? But I love the word emerging for this year, for springtime, for me in particular, maybe for you too. And think of the butterfly emerging out of the cocoon, right? New life, new beginnings, new everything. So hopefully you've been visioning through this wintertime. You've been visioning, especially during Pisces season. It's been rich with opportunities to connect to soul through dream work, through spontaneous imagery. I get a lot of, like, sometimes when I go into meditation, just, spontaneous imagery comes, and I'm always curious. One of the things I would suggest that you could do, I'm going to get into some things to do for spring to align with springtime where you are, or fall where you are. It's always getting in nature. But one thing, I talk about dream work a lot, but you can do awake dream work. In other words, dreaming awake while you're, wandering in nature is always the best place. Put a question on your heart. What am I supposed to know? Or what is longing to get my attention right now at this time? And notice what you notice in nature. The first thing your awareness lands on, be curious about that. Okay. All right. I'm going to go to my notes because I had a few notes here. And so let me go on. I've had a couple. I was looking for a poem. I really couldn't find a poem. And I thought to myself, well, maybe I could sit down and write a poem for the spring or spring equinox. If you know of one, put it in the comments. I do have a few quotes that I'll get to. But yeah, the spring equinox, and I'm going to do a separate video. We've got the lunar eclipse coming up on the 25th. We are in eclipse season, a time of preparing for destined shifting, destined changes. Like one thing that is observed through eclipses is it's a fated time. They're harbingers of some kind of change or some kind of shift, and they can be sudden and swift and unexpected. And with the full moon coming up on the 25th, I will do a video on that, as well as the the solar eclipse happening on April 8th. But we're in the eclipse season, so might feel a little bit more intensity, a little bit more like on alert, on preparing for the what's next, what wants to emerge. So spring equinox, again, I've said this, associated with rebirth and renewal, moving out of winter, we're renewing, we're sloughing off, we're getting ready to, step into the new, what we've been visioning for, the potential. It's all about potential. Great, rich. I'm trying to think of this word. Like it's something with an F, fecundity. I can't think of the word right now. I know that I'm a big fan of John O'Donohue's, and he uses that word a lot in his writings. Is it fecund? I'll have to look it up. Does anyone know that word? I'm going to look it up because it's going to bug me. And I've done this before in videos. I'm like, I'm going to go look that up, and then I never get back to it. And then maybe someone's watching thinking, what is she talking about? And maybe I just really want to know that word right now because it's coming to my mind, and I trust that. I trust that what things pop in my mind are needed. That's it. And let's see what it means. Okay. Producing or capable of producing an abundance of offspring or new growth, fertile, a lush and fecund garden. Okay, that word was popping in my mind. Maybe that's my word. New growth, fertility. I love it. Okay. So what the season invites us to is that to compost the old, and hopefully we were doing that through the winter, to just like, working the soil so that this new possibilities can emerge. We're coming out of hibernation, right? I know that for me, I was so tired this morning, and I didn't sleep last night, and maybe I'm fighting a little cold, actually, and not feeling great. So I was like, no, I had this, it's springtime. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to be out of hibernation. But remember, I said earlier, pace yourself with grace. Know where you're at. Trust where you are. Trust that when you're meant to feel something different, you will. We're all waking up. And imagine coming out of the slumber of your winter of the soul. You don't just spring awake. You're like, we all have our different pace. Honor that. It's okay. But I am wondering what is stirring in you, and what have you been composting for your new beginnings, and have you been doing some of this soul work, this inner work? What have you been growing in the darkness of your inner winter? You can answer in the chat if you want to, or just you can use these as prompts to journal to connect with yourself. But here are some thoughts about the vernal equinox when we have that equal time of dark and light, right? So, where are you feeling out of balance? And what's needed to get you back in balance, right? Is your self-care out of balance? Are you working too hard and not regenerating, retreating so you can regenerate? This is important too. What are you ready to purge in order to more fully emerge? This is a good time for spring cleaning, especially this weekend because the moon is going to be in helpful Virgo. If you want help, think about Virgo energy as like if you've ever been wishy-washy about what to let go of or what needs cleaning, Virgo will show you, will point it out. Ask Virgo to be compassionate with you as you get into your spring cleaning, you're releasing. And then I just wonder, how do you celebrate this time of the year? And I hope that it's something about going out in nature. I went for a lovely bike ride, went for just being outside today was like, hello, spring, hello, I feel you. And I could feel it in me. And I'm so grateful. And, I also associate springtime with gratitude. It's a good time to be grateful for what you learned through winter, through, the more reflective time. And I also believe in giving thanks in advance. Thank you, Creator. Thank you, Universe. Thank you, God, for this new season to grow potential. Thank you for the return of energy. Thank you for the returning of light. Thank you, right? Um, so I had a couple quotes, and I'm not locating them, but um, I'll tell you one thing that always, I love, and it seems like, is it just me or is it you too, that springtime seems to just like pop overnight, like I know that believe where I live, the crocus is the first flower to emerge, and sometimes it emerges under the snow. And then come the daffodils here. And then pretty soon, like every day, a new day is like buds everywhere, flowers budding everywhere. And it's so joyous to me. It just brings such joy into my heart. And I had a quote kind of like that, and I can't find it. Man, I just put. Do you have a favorite quote about springtime that you'd like to share? Because for some reason mine have escaped me. I don't know where I put them. And I'm scrolling, scrolling, scrolling. Oh well, friends, I don't have it for you. Um, Jamie, do you have any quotes? This is really like, I don't know. I swear I must have opened another page because I wrote some things earlier and I must have put it on a separate file. Okay, well, I'm not going to keep looking because I'm wasting time with you. Sorry. Do you have any questions while I'm looking? Any questions? Anything? Well, I'm going to close this file and simply do this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to look for the quote I found. I'm just going to quotes for spring. Let's see what it was. One from okay. You know what? I'm not going to do this because it's just there it is. Okay, I closed the window and there it is. Okay. Oh my goodness. I'll tell you what, I wonder if anybody else is noticing this. Now, Aries energy can be a little bit more, let's go, right? So I did notice today a little bit more irritability. Like just now I was getting irritable, like I was getting irritated that I didn't write this on the page and right? So I let it go. Like I wasn't going to let that show up in this space. Let it go, and then I close the window, and then there's the quote. So when you start feeling irritable, it's like you're wanting to race forward, and it's like there's something in your way. Surrender and trust. So this is from Maria Wilka. So Rainier Maria Wilka. Spring has returned. The earth is like a child that knows poems. I love it. See, this is the kind of poetry and the kind of words I wish I could write, because isn't that just rich? Like, the earth is like a child that knows poems. What does that mean to you? It's like, for me, it means like, hmm, there's so much beauty, so much soul connection that you just want to, you know, there are no words. So poems are kind of like, to me, the symbology of poems are like trying to see from the level of the soul, right? So I loved that one. And then there was another one. Um, this speaks to hope for me, from Pablo Neruda. Neruda. I know that's not right. I can hear it wrong. Pablo Neruda. Thank you. There it is. And it sounds kind of harsh, but I think it speaks to that eternal hope. Um, you can cut all the flowers, but you cannot keep spring from coming. This one felt so important to me because there's so much going on in the world where, like, our joy and all the things are cut back because there's a lot of discord in the world. But but we can't keep hope from coming, right? And hope is so essential, isn't it? It's so essential to, well, to keep us going, to keep us growing, to keep the potential going. I know there's another quote that I used to love, and every time I hear of somebody pregnant or a baby coming into the world, there is a quote that is, "Babies are God's way of saying the world will go on," right? And so we find our hope restored in this time of the year, I hope. And I have a few more comments. So, okay, Leah, hello, love. I have to read this. It's so beautiful. Oh, it's a quote. I thought you wrote it. I was like, wow, girl, you can write. She shares a quote from Thich Nhat Hanh. Beautiful. The gentle spring, the gentle spring rain permeates the soil of my soul. A seed that has lain deeply in the earth for many years just smiles. Oh, I love that, Leah. Thank you so much. Wow. Okay. That's a good note to end on. I'd love to hear more about what this time of the season feels for you. Maybe you want to set an intention with me so we can be accountable. You can be accountable to me. Put it in the comments. What are you looking forward to? What's growing through you? What do you wish to emerge this beautiful, fertile season of new beginnings? All right, peace and blessings to you. I wish you all good things in this beautiful springtime of our lives and souls, possibly wherever you are on the planet. Just claim it as whatever you need. All right, take good care. Until next time, thanks for being with me. Bye.